Happy Sunday fun day, and welcome everyone to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as Trump's trade war pressures crypto markets as April 2nd tariffs loom. Also breaking news, public mining giant Marathon Digital to sell $2 billion worth of stock to buy more Bitcoin. Get ready. Also, Michael Saylor posts the Saylor tracker, so most likely going to make like $1 billion announcement tomorrow of acquiring more Bitcoin. Let's get it. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin spot ETFs, the 197 million net inflows as quarter one closes. I think tomorrow is the final day of the month. Also, Elon's sale of X to XAI just made fraud lawsuit a lot spicier. We'll also be discussing the Hawk-Tua case against the SEC is officially dismissed as it is perfectly legal to launch your own meme coins, rug investors, etc. We'll also be discussing crypto investment firm Galaxy Digital settles with New York Attorney General for $200 million over the Luna allegations. We'll be welcoming Novogratz to the crypto wall of shame. Also, big news coming in. Saylor, $500 trillion prediction. That's right. He's predicting a $500 trillion market cap in a recent interview. And he also says very bullish theory here. He says if America buys Bitcoin, its allies and enemies will have to buy the Bitcoin back at 10 million, 20 million, or even 50 million a coin. He says this is the modern digital gold rush. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much motherfucking more here in today's stream. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, then ring the bell. Turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, including Sundays, just like this. Church is in session. I will be preaching the Holy Gospel of Satoshi for the next couple of hours on the live stream. Today is pod episode 1948. I'm your host, JV. It's March 30th, 2025. Only one more day left until the close of quarter one. And let me know if Bitcoin lived up to his expectations or was disappointing. Currently, the all-time high is in at 109.3, which was achieved inauguration day. But let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. As you can see on your screen, Bitcoin correcting and in the red, trading just shy of 83,000. Most of the alts correcting and in the red, barely anything in the green. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com, which I just accidentally closed the window. So let me reopen the tab. Here we go. So we're currently sitting at a 2.68 trillion market cap for all of crypto. Bitcoin market cap down to 1.638 trillion. We got 50 billion worth of volume at the past 24 hours, and the Bitcoin dominance is currently 61.4%, with the Ether dominance all the way down to 8.2%. I believe that's the lowest we have seen it in years. ETH is yet to recover to its all-time high from the previous cycle peak, which was back in, I believe that was November of 2021. It topped out at around 4,500, and it's struggling to even maintain above 2,000. Not a good look for Ether, and hence a lot of the ERC20 tokens following in Ether's footsteps, not doing so well this cycle. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Ironic enough, EOS leading the pack, up 8.5%, trading just shy of 60 cents, followed by 4, up 8%, followed by Toncoin, up just shy of 5%. Which alts are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. Interestingly, I don't know why that is. In CoinMarketCap, it showed a lot of things. In Coin360, let's look back. It shows a lot of the top coins in the red. Well, I guess a lot of the lower cap alts are actually in the green today. I was just confirming it. As you can see on your screen, I'd say 70-30 green over red. Zooming out on the weekly, not a good look. It's like 90% of the market Rex City. And zooming out on the monthly, maybe similar, 90% red over green, with many alts, even including some of the OG coins like Litecoin, down 32% in the past 30 days. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index today, we're 32 fear, yesterday 26, last week a 30, and last month a 16 in extreme fear. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 890,116, and you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly tulip bulb mania dollar fiat for 1,211 sats. Pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at Bitcoin Caps. .net. Let's kick it next with our TA, aka astrology for the broskies, and we'll pull up the live charts as well. Trump's trade war pressures crypto markets as April 2nd tariffs loom. I have a question. If Biden would have remained president and we still had Gary Gensler as the chairman of the SEC and he didn't get replaced by the Nippinator, how do you think the crypto markets would be reacting right now? Let me know. I'm just curious. Okay. Concerns over a global trade war continue to pressure traditional and crypto markets as investors brace yourself, fool, for a potential tariff announcement from President Trump April 2nd. And let me think, that's in 3 more days. So that would be this Wednesday on Hump Day. Trump first announced import tariffs on Chinese goods January 20th, the day of his inauguration. And ironic enough, that was the day the pre-low biddy hit the current all-time high of 109.3. Global tariff fears have led to heightened inflation concerns, limiting appetite for the risk assets amongst the investors. Bitcoin has fallen 18%, and the S&P has fallen more than 7% in the 2 months following the initial tariff announcement. And going forward, April 2nd is drawing increased attention to the potential flashpoint for fresh U.S. tariff announcements. And here you can see the one-day chart, and I'll be pulling up the live charts here shortly. Investor sentiment took another hit on March 29th after Trump pressed his senior advisors to take a more aggressive stance on import tariffs, which may be seen as a potential escalation of the trade war. According to the Washington Post, the April 2nd announcement is expected to detail reciprocal trade tariffs targeting top U.S. trading partners. The measures aim to reduce the country's estimated $1.2 trillion goods trade deficit and boost domestic manufacturing. Despite mounting uncertainty, large Bitcoin hodlers, which we know as the whales, with between 1,000 and 10,000 of the biddy, have continued to accumulate. We all know they're the smart money. Now, addresses in this category have remained steady since the beginning of 2025, from 1,956 addresses on January 1st to over 1,990 addresses March 27th, still below the previous cycle peak of 2,370 addresses as far as whales are concerned, recorded in February in 2024 as per Glassnode data. And quoting Nexo analysts here, risk appetite remains muted amid tariff threats from President Trump and ongoing macro uncertainty. Still, Bitcoin accumulation by the whales and a 10-day ETF inflow streak point to steady institutional demand, but hawkish surprises from inflation or trade may keep range bound into April. And next up, we'll be covering all the latest with the ETF inflows for the quarter one, as we're about to put a bow on that. And also in breaking news, this is big news that came in yesterday. Public mining giant Marathon to sell $2 billion worth of stock to buy more Bitcoin. So expect a $2 billion incoming purchase of the biddy from Marathon Digital, the largest Bitcoin miner, as I wrote here. $2 billion biddy purchase incoming. Let's frickin' go. And also, Mike Novogratz officially earned his spot in the Crypto Scammer Hall of Fame right next to FTX and Three Arrows Capital. His role in the $60 billion Terra Luna pump and dump is unforgettable. And yes, he has got the tattoo to prove it. I mean, it's right here on the arm. I mean, Jesus. New York Attorney General Letitia James, everyone's least favorite attorney general, has secured a $200 million settlement from Galaxy Digital over its involvement in the 2022 Terra Luna collapse. And according to the AG, Galaxy promoted, I want you to really pay attention here because this is what shitcoiners do. According to the Attorney General, Galaxy promoted Luna publicly while secretly dumping its own holdings, accelerating the crash and misleading investors. Typical. The firm allegedly violated New York's Martin Act, one of the most powerful anti-fraud laws in the U.S., giving the Attorney General sweeping authority to go after securities fraud, both civil and criminal, and talk about digging your own grave. I mean, he literally has the scam token he was dumping as he was pumping on his arm. That's what scam coiners do. They typically promote their shitcoin as they're selling it, and you don't know that. They're probably trading it for Bitcoin, the apex predator, and then everyone gets rugged and billions of dollars get wiped out in the market. And you can thank gentlemen like this, Mike Novogratz, whatever. But there you have it, Biddy fam. And now let's pull up some of the live charts as I promised. And we'll dive a little deeper into that a little later in the stream as well. But pulling up the live chart via TradingView, via Coinbase, this is the 10-minute chart. There is a rising wedge formation, a couple of bear targets on the radar, one at 81.3 and another one at 80,940. And let's work our way backwards. Let's check out the 1 hour chart. Again, live and in the flesh right now, famalam. We do have a bear target sitting at 79 G's, baby. And zooming out from there, from the 1 hour, we'll take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour chart has a rising wedge formation. We do have two bull targets on the screen, one at 113.7, and then we have another one at 105.471. We also have a bear scenario sitting at 79.370. Let me know if you feel will likely fill the lower target or the upper range targets heading into April, right around the corner. Holla at your boy. And checking out the daily, live daily chart via TradingView, via Coinbase, rising wedge. We also have a couple of bull targets, one in the red at just shy of 113, and we have one at 113.7. Then a couple of the bear targets, one at 68,699, ultimately just shy of 69. And then we have another one at 49. And zooming out from the daily, taking a look at the weekly chart. As you can see here, we still have the sexy cup and handle target on your screen at 124. We do get a candle close for the week in approximately, I'd say 90 minutes at around 6 p.m. So I'll stick around until we get that weekly close. Thus far, it's going to close in the red unless we have a big turnaround, start pumping during the live stream. And zooming out from the weekly, taking a quick look at a monthly. And tomorrow we will also get a monthly close. And unfortunately, thus far, it's going to close in the red, which would mean back-to-back red candle closes on the monthly chart, which increases our chances of a big pump in April heading into Q2. But you guys, let me know your thoughts. But next story, headline here reads, Bitcoin spot ETF see 197 million of net inflows as quarter one closes. That's right. By their lofty standards, U.S. Bitcoin ETFs produced a moderately positive performance last week, attracting at about 200 million of net inflows. This development comes amid an impressive market comeback over the past 2 weeks following the heavy withdrawals, which we call as the outflows. And according to the data from the ETF tracking site SoSoValue, the Bitcoin ETFs registered a total net outflow of 93 million on Friday, moving its aggregate net flows for the past week to just shy of 197 million. And prior to Friday's negative input, these funds recorded a positive flow for 10 consecutive trading days, suggesting a high amount of favorable market interest. This development indicates a return of bullish sentiments amongst Bitcoin institutional investors following the bearish mood seen in February and early March, which featured massive asset withdrawals. And in a similar fashion, BlackRock's iBit accounted for the majority of the inflows from last week, attracting 172 million worth of investments, followed by Fidelity's FBTZ with 87 million. And then we had Van Ex HODL was the only other ETF with a positive flow of a modest 5 million in new deposits. But on the other hand, a large percentage of withdrawals came from ARK, as well as Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Bitwise, etc. And of course, Grayscale always with the outflows. So thus far, with quarter two of 2025 fast approaching in a couple of days, the Bitcoin spot ETFs conclude their first quarter of the year on an uncertain note. The year began with a strong bullish momentum, driving $5.25 billion worth of net inflows during January. However, this was followed by the sharp reversal with a cumulative net liquidation of $4.25 billion across February and March. So we rised $5.25 billion, then we lost $4.25 billion. Still a positive billion net inflow. Notably, the resurgence of the positive inflow seen in the latter half of March is a sign of renewed market interest and a strong market confidence. Furthermore, the crypto-friendly stance being adopted by Trump admin could encourage the institutional investment in the long run. Yeah, I'd say. And however, macroeconomic factors, including potential Fed rate hikes and the ongoing U.S. tariff changes, may force investors to move out of the high-risk assets or other associated investments. And in addition, the uncertainty over the current Bitcoin bull also draws serious concerns. So there you have it. And if you don't know, now you know. All right, let's continue, family. Next story of the day. We have a lot to share. Not exactly crypto related, but a big story nonetheless. And there really wasn't a lot of crypto related good stories to cherry pick today, so I included this headline. Elon Musk's sale of X to XAI just made fraud lawsuit a lot spicier, like a jalapeno. Billionaire investor, the richest man in the world on paper, Elon, has sold his social media platform X to his AI startup XAI, sparking controversy as it coincides with a U.S. judge rejecting his bid to dismiss a lawsuit tied to the social media platform. The transfer of ownership of X to XAI, March 28th, means that the class action lawsuit against Musk, accusing him of defrauding former Twitter shareholders by delaying the disclosure of his initial investment into the social media platform, has become a whole lot spicier. That's right. On the same day that Musk said XAI has acquired X in all of the stock transaction, a U.S. judge reportedly rejected Elon's attempt to dismiss the lawsuit. Now, Cochran said it has opened up his AI entity to exposure here too, and it is a much bigger pie. Elon said the deal values XAI at $80 billion and X at $33 billion, factoring in $12 billion in debt from the $45 billion valuation. He originally bought X, formerly known as Twitter, for $44 billion back in April of 2022. Elon says XAI and X's future are intertwined. Today, we officially take the step to combine the data, models, compute, distribution, and talent. Now, this combination will unlock immense potential by blending XAI's advanced AI capability and expertise with X's massive reach. And I'm curious, by a show of hands, how many of you are using Grok or Grok? I don't even know how to pronounce it. But I looked in the App Store on Apple earlier, and the number one downloaded app in the world is X, and number two is Grok, believe it or not. He says this will allow us to build a platform that doesn't just reflect the world, but actively accelerates human progress. Now, I don't know. I'm a little sus with anything that happens in our world on the world stage, but I digress. Cochran claimed that Musk used his pumped up XAI stock to pay multiple times over the value for X, but still takes an $11 billion loss on the transaction. He said Elon is screwing over XAI's investors and X-investors and was executed to sell user data to XAI. XAI is best known for its AI chatbot Grok, which is built into the X platform. Can someone tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce that? And what does it even mean? What is a Grok or Grok? Can someone enlighten me? When Elon released it in November 2023, he claimed it could outperform OpenAI's first iteration of ChatGPT in several academic tests. And also, I'm curious, Chandy, being you're the AI expert, in comparison, Grok versus ChatXPT, what is superior in your humble opinion? Let me know. Now, Elon explained at the time that the motivation behind building Grok was to create AI tools equipped to assist humanity by empowering research and innovation. And while Cochran said that Grok's valuation at $80 billion is an insanely dumb valuation, crypto developer Keith disagrees. He says this is shady all around, but given the day, Grok is genuinely probably the top model for various tasks. And if you don't know, now you know. Headline here reads, Viral Fame, Volatile Finance, SEC closes the book on the Hawk Tour. Crypto drama. Save it for your mama. She's out of hibernation, apparently. Haley Welch, better known as the Hawk Tuah girl, the 22-year-old Tennessee native, catapulted into viral stardom back in June of 2024 following a candid sidewalk exchange where her irrelevant advice, she said, you got to spit on that thing. And the rest is history. Capitalizing on her sudden cultural imprint, she swiftly unveiled the podcast Talk Tua, in which Jake Paul was behind, by the way, and ventured into the digital currency sphere with a Solana-based meme. Ishcoin, Haley's foray into the crypto, propelled the Hawk token to a fleeting peak of almost $500 million in market valuation upon its arrival. That's right, day one, within hours, it hit almost a $500 million market cap. $500 million, just like that, from the 22-year-old Hawk Tua gal. And then spectators, obviously speculators, lost hours later, erasing 95% of the worth and incinerating millions in investor funds. The whimsical rise and abrupt disintegration ignited claims of orchestrated market manipulation, like every single meme coin that come before it, with disgruntled traders alleging a classic pump and dump ploy, obviously, their grievances crystallizing in litigation, targeting those linked to Hawk's rollout. The fallout intensified as aggrieved investors amplified their outcry, channeling frustration into formal complaints. Now, here's the deal. If you got rugged on the Hawk Tua meme, you pretty much deserved it because you're either an idiot or you're taking unnecessary risk. And if you invested your net worth into something as stupid as that, Again, hopefully you learned a very valuable lesson because regulators are not going to be helping you. That's right. A December Rolling Stone expose noted at least one participant escalated concerns to the SEC won't let me be, injecting fresh scrutiny into the token's turbulent trajectory, a saga blending viral ambition, my ambitions as a rat, with the volatile theatrics of the meme-driven finance. Now things have changed, and a TMZ editorial notes that the SEC is not investigating Welch. They claim their investigation is over. She didn't do nothing wrong and that she didn't violate any of the security acts because meme coins are not unregistered securities, according to the current administration. Because if they were, they'd be investigating Trump right now. Interesting, right? For the past few months, I have been cooperating with all the authorities and attorneys, and finally the work is complete, she says. And ignore the neighbor dogs that don't stop barking. I'm going to strike the gong, and let's see if this outrages them or if they shut the fuck up. Welch's legal attorney, James Sala, told TMZ in the report that her path in future crypto-related ventures remains unshackled. The SEC, under the Trump admin, has abandoned numerous regulatory action and legal challenges this year. The TMZ report discussed Welch's alignment with Berwick law, while the publication theorized the collaborators would have deceived or misadvised her. So they're ultimately saying she didn't know any better. She's just a stupid 22-year-old Haktua gal. What does she know? She didn't violate any of that. And just like magic, the neighbor's dog shut the fuck up. We did the Haktua. Now let's discuss the crypto hall of shame. Everyone welcome Mike Novogratz into it, and then we'll discuss all the latest from Saylor, his 500 trillion Bitcoin market cap prediction alongside Bitcoin hitting 50 million per coin, because once America adopts Bitcoin and starts buying it up, he says our enemies will start paying 10, 20, 50 million a coin to get it back. And then we'll do our live Q&A and go from there. Headline here reads, crypto investment firm Galaxy Digital settles with New York Attorney General for $200 million over the Luna allegations. Scaramucci wrote here, because obviously he's friends, so it's based, but he put Novogratz as a dear friend, one of the smartest investors I know. Everything he ever said about Luna was because he thought it was true based on the deception perpetrated by the real bad actors, Do Kwon and Terraform Labs. This makes no sense and is completely at odds with the SEC and the Department of Justice, which has been pursuing actions against Do Kwon and Terraform. It is lawfare, pure and simple, due to an obscure but dangerously powerful New York law known as the Martin Act. The law has no need to prove intent, creating a low standard of proof that can open the door for abuse like this. It should not exist. My favorite response, the high priest Max Geyser said, false. He's calling out the bullshit. He knows better. And shout out to the high priest. So let's dive a little deeper here. New York Attorney General Letitia James alleges Terra founder Do Kwon recruited Galaxy Digital to purchase Luna tokens and advocate for this project in the West. James said the investment firm, which did not admit or deny the AG's allegations, bought 18.5 million Luna from Terraform Labs in October of 2020 at 22 cents per token, a nearly 30% discount. That's pretty fucked up. Now, quoting him here, as Michael Novogratz, Galaxy's founder and chief executive officer, later said, Galaxy helped kickstart interest in Luna through its marketing efforts. Galaxy began posting about Luna and Terraform on social media in November of 2020. The Luna price and trading volume rose on March 26, 2021. Then Luna was trading at $18 per token. Novogratz posted on social media that he would get a Luna tattoo if the Luna price reached $100. Luna hit $100.84 on December 24, 2021. And on January 4, 2022, Novogratz publicly unveiled his Luna tattoo on social media. And speaking of the infamous Luna tattoo, let's see if it's featured. I posted it. Yep, there you go. Proof of work right there. Most stupidest tattoo mankind has ever seen. Luna to the moon. Yeah, hilarious. But while Novogratz posted pictures of his tattoo and expressed his Luna bullishness to the public, Galaxy sold, here's the key, Galaxy sold millions of tokens as he was pushing it online into the market at many multiples of its initial cost without disclosing it was selling. Apparently, this is illegal and wasn't a good look. James noted Galaxy Digital had almost completely exited its Luna position by the time the Terra ecosystem imploded in May of 2022. Kwon was arrested in Montenegro 2022 2023, attempting to board a flight to Dubai using a fake Costa Rican passport. Pure Vita fam. The South Korean software engineer is facing fraud charges in both the U.S. and his native country, but Montenegrin authorities decided to extradite him to the U.S. in December. Do Kwon faces a maximum penalty of 130 years in prison, and his trial is scheduled currently for January of 2026. And if you don't know, now you know. All right, fam. Now for our feature story of the day. Saylor makes a 500 trillion Bitcoin market cap prediction and also says Bitcoin's enemies, or I should say the United States enemies or allies, are going to drive the Bitcoin price to 50 million per coin. It's called the global hash war. Let's break this baby down. Let's start with some of the tweets and then we'll get into the story. Saylor was recently speaking at this event, and he says the Bitcoin market cap will eventually reach 500 trillion. I think the total addressable market is probably about 900 trillion. So this would mean Bitcoin conquers over 50% of every dollar on earth, which would be mind-boggling to say the least. We call this the Bitcoin game theory. He also points out if America buys Bitcoin, its allies and enemies will have to buy it back at 10 million, 20 million, or even $50 million per coin. This is the modern digital gold rush. This is the global hash war in which Max Kaiser coined many years back. This is game theory, and this is what we can anticipate, and this is why we hodl. Now, Michael Saylor also made a bold prediction on Patrick Bet-David's podcast a while back, and I transcribed it here. Bitcoin is on a path to be worth $100 million per coin, which means that the US dollar will have lost 99.9% of its value over 100 years. Warren Buffett knows this, and of course, Charlie Munger, back when he was alive, knows this. And of course, all smart people know this. No question about it. And he also said, you will spend 40,000 hours of your life trying to make money. It's worthwhile to spend 100 hours figuring out how to keep it. Facts. Tell him, Michael. Also, rumor, Michael Saylor will announce $1 billion Bitcoin purchase tomorrow. He posted the orange tracker, as you can see here, needs even more orange. Every Sunday he posts this. The following day he makes a big announcement on a Monday. So we may have another $1 billion acquisition announcement tomorrow from the Giga Chad. And as I pointed out earlier, Marathon Digital, the public mining giant, is selling $2 billion worth of stock to buy more Bitcoin. So multiple multi-billion dollar purchases incoming. Now, quoting Ash Crypto, for once in your effing life, just sit down and think. If Bitcoin's top is in, then why the fact is Saylor, Fidelity, BlackRock, and many of the publicly listed companies still buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin? Because they want you to think the top is in, so you panic sell your coins to them. Real shit right there. And one more bonus tweet, 300,000 Bitcoin is a lock. Luke Broyles points out 300 grand isn't crazy. Strategy buying another 25 billion, 95%. Marathon buying another 2 billion, 95%. GameStop buying 7 billion, 70%. Czech Bank, central bank buying 7 billion, Facebook buying 20 billion, US government buying 100 billion, China buying 50 billion, 5 billionaires allocating 8 billion, 43.9 billion spot buys under 200 billions of coins on exchanges, slightly adjusted for the odds to get 100 billion in spot buys this motherfucking year. It is not unreasonable to expect 300,000 per coin, and exchanges being easily drained another 15 to 25%, yet artards continue to sell their Bitcoin. Makes no sense. Now into our story. Michael Saylor, the man who practically made Bitcoin his business strategy, no, he did, is once again turning heads. In a short but bold interview, Saylor laid out his long-term vision, a world where the Bitcoin dominates everything from gold to bonds, real estate, ETFs, and beyond. And according to Saylor, it's not just possible, it's inevitable. Sure, it sounds wild. A 500 trillion market cap will make Bitcoin worth more than everything on the planet today. Do you hear that? But before you laugh it off, think back just 10 years ago, Bitcoin was trading at $300. And most people, including Warren Buffett, called it a scam. It's rat poison squared. Who's the rat poison now? Warren Buffett. So you guys let me know your thoughts with Saylor's projection of Bitcoin, ultimately all money rolling into it, 500 trillion market cap, and then due to the enemies or allies of America, they're going to have to buy the Bitcoin back at 10, 20, or even 50 million a coin, as this is the modern digital gold rush. And as you know, Saylor proposed to the Trump administration for the United States of America to acquire up to 25% of the Bitcoin supply. That's over 5 million Bitcoin. There is only enough room in the network for one Bitcoin superpower. Will it be the United States, or will they drop the motherfucking ball? Will it be China? Will it be Russia? Will it be somewhere in the Middle East? Will it be Brazil? We talked about, some news coming out of there the other day. Will it be Abu Dhabi? You guys let me know your thoughts, or read your comments out loud. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. Literally 5 years ago today, I wrote, it doesn't matter how much money you have at the bank right now. For those who bank with Banco Popular here in Puerto Rico, the maximum cash they allow me to withdraw today is $1,100, and I have the $1,100 cash and $20 bills as proof. And then I go on to say, when I handed the bank teller my $2,500 withdrawal slip, she replied, sorry, JV, but we don't have that kind of cash available. Cash shortage, interesting, right? If the banks don't have our own money available to give us in a time of emergency like this. When I say a time of emergency, this was right after COVID, or I should say Novid, happened in March of 2020, and I needed some cash. And I wanted to withdraw $2,500, and they denied it. So, sorry, we don't have that kind of money sitting around. And the most they were allowed to give me was $1,100. So I said, if they don't have it at a time of an emergency, why do we give them our hard-earned fiat in the first place? If you ask me, the stupidest place to store your money right now is the bank. This is why I switched to Bitcoin long ago, because I don't trust the banks. I trust mathematics and the motherfucking blockchain. Can I get an amen? And here we are, 5 years later, I still don't trust the motherfucking banks.